Alright, hello, how's it going there? Tech Hungarian, FS Gamer, Surgeon Chaos, Air Imperials All, FS Gamer, I already said hello to, and Surgeon Chaos again. How are you guys? Yep, Stormworks again. They came out with the hotfix yesterday. I'll quickly read out the hotfix, put up a quick video for that. But that came out yesterday on Sunday, so you can see they've been working through the weekend on trying to get this done. So, version 1.9.8, let's bring it up so you guys can see it. Rework fluid system to be much more consistent with pre-space update behavior. Fluid systems now driven by delta pressure and liquid is partially compressible to assist with flow. This update fixes steam and other fluid component. Rework rebalanced RCS to have lower power and gas consumption. I'm glad to see that it has a lower gas consumption. That was seeming a little excessively high to me, so that looks good. They fixed exhaust and steam particles, and so a lot of that came from the experimental branch they put it into, so that looked like that worked out well. And that's kind of one of the reasons I was taking my little break here was it made sense to wait until they kind of had some of these mechanics done before you know, getting into some of it, because you just have to end up changing your build. So, built a little test rig here the other day, tested it out. Pretty simple here. We have one tank. When you spawn one of these tanks, so they're all air, when you spawn them, they start out, I believe it's like 0.94, it's 94 atmospheres. And so, to do the quick math, I've been able to get them up around 940 atmospheres in there. So, you know, you could pretty much, you know, you pretty much fill 10 tanks in there. So, we'll show you this quick test really quick here. I did this the other day. We'll go ahead and check it. So, as you can see, we have one tank here. It's currently at, what was it? 5.8 atmospheres. Have just two large motors here. Are these large? Yeah, large. We're using infinite electricity, so this should give us more power. The motors will cap out at 19 RPS, so I just have them doing 9 to 1 to get these up, spun up high. As you can see, we have, what is that, 12 of these huge air tanks. They're all at 5.9 atmospheres. And then just have one-way valves. The impellers will leak, you know, so gas will go right through. So you need to have valves so that the flow will go in one direction. So these are all come together, and they'll go through these pumps and then in there. So just run this up really quickly. If we look at this here, you can see we're running. So the numbers look much more stable now. I tested this out before they had that hotfix, so things are different now. Before I was like doing a very unstable, like 1,000 plus liters per second. This looks more stable now. And then as you can see, so we're pumping and we're compressing the air in there. As you can see, we're taken from these tanks going in there. So what I want to kind of build is I started working on a trailer to fill the spacecraft. I want to do some other stuff too. I don't know how much I'm going to work in that rocket, but I do want to kind of play with some of these pressure mechanics. And one of the things is coming up with a pumping system that can efficiently pump. So if we look at this is the RPS on this is 172 RPS going to this impeller pump. And as you can see, the electric motors will cap out at 19. So you can see we're just pumping this up here and filling that with atmosphere. So looks like they're not, after this pressure update, it looks like they, you know, it used to spawn with like 94 atmospheres. It looks like it's much lower now, so we're going to have to definitely fill these tanks up. Yeah, 940 is about what I've been able to get them. Like these, as you can just see, these were spawning at 5 atmospheres. So I wonder if that's to do with the new update, is they are spawning with lower pressure in them. But this is hopefully just doing a little testing here, trying to get these pumped up. I know some people have been, you know, struggling to try to get their vehicles to pump up quickly. So frankly, what I would do is I would do a kind of plan is to do a diesel. Start up the diesel pump, and what I want to do is make a trailer. Like I said, I'm probably not going to go to the rocket too much. I kind of want to build some other terrestrial stuff. Like I'm, you know, happy for Space DLC. It'll be some fun, but I'm still not really feeling like going and doing a bunch of the stuff. So, gotta do some of the terrestrial stuff. How's it going there, Zerfin? Yeah. Doesn't destroy the game. It changes the game, and you just have to learn how to do it. Let's see. Where are we at now? So we're up around 46. Let's see. All right, so I want to do a little testing here. So let's save this really quick. I recommend if you do like this type of testing with electric motors, you know these are going to cap out around 19. So what you can do is then just gear them up to figure out what the RPS values are you're going to want, and then you can convert it to something like diesel that is actually efficient, because you're never going to be able to make enough electricity or store enough electricity to run 2 electric motors at full throttle for long periods of time. So mainly what the concept is here, I'll show you again. So like if we go in here and we blast this at 100%, we're at 172 RPS, and if we look, we're doing about 730. It's going to decline because the pressure is decreasing on that side. So now if you see, we're at 162, and we really didn't lose any pressure. So you don't need that many RPM. So like I was going down to like 0.02. And if you look, we're down at 8 RPS. And you notice, yes, the liters per second is going down, but that's because the pressure on this side is decreasing. This pressure is helping you push more gas through. And so you really don't need that much RPS. So to have this screaming really isn't all that effective and helpful. Let's see. So like 0.02 there, as you can see, we're doing about 8 RPS. And we're 560. Let's go up to full. And we're doing the same. So this is something that a lot of people are not thinking about, getting confused at times, is, you know, they'll think they have to really have these screaming. You don't. Your limitations turn into the impellers themselves and the pipes. So there's really no point in revving this up really high. You know, you can run it really low, like I was showing, like here's 0.02, and that is at 8 RPS, and we're getting the same flow rates. So we don't need these screaming to get good flow rates. Well, if you don't like it, take a break there, Steven. All right, let's see. Let's save this. So, like, if we have a system running this, we don't need these impellers moving at very high RPS. Like, I can't get that any lower because I can't go below 0.02 with the sensitivity on that. But, theoretically, we could get it down to 4 RPS, and it could be moving enough gas that we're in good shape. So, that's something to note, is we don't really need super high RPS values on these impellers to get good flow rates. So let's do a quick test here. All right, and I just want to take a tank, a huge tank of hydrogen. So this looks like something they changed with the experimental branch when they put out that hot fix yesterday. It was showing about 94 atmospheres before when it would spawn, and now we're down to 6 atmospheres. Now there's a plus and a minus to this. The downside is before we were at much higher pressures, and the benefit of that being essentially the higher atmosphere, the higher pressure means there's more gas in there. And so we're able to spawn these tanks with more gas in them, which is nice because we don't have to pump as much in. I would say, if I were to guess why they did this, I would say they did this because, they're having problems with pressure differential. People were having blowouts on the ships. They were having a lot of back pressure issues with steam. And so one of the remedies was, so it seemed like the problems that were caused by this were because the pressure was so high that, for example, steam couldn't overcome the pressure. There were cooling problems because your water in your cooling loops couldn't overcome the pressure. And so what they've done is decrease the initial spawn pressures. So, again, it's kind of a balance that needed to happen, it seemed. It sucks that, yeah, you do need to put more gas in your tanks. You need to pressurize your tanks, for example, before you go to space. But the benefit being that it should reduce back pressure on a lot of the systems. So, good to know. Let's see. Do I have a motor or an engine here? Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Where are we at here? I don't want backups on here. Let's see. Modular. Small modular 2. Okay, that's just... I'm trying to see if I had a system up and running. It's I don't really need to do that now. I might do something else because I was going to say all I'm really doing is I was going to make a pumping system. But I'm probably not going to get right into space. I'm trying to get inspired again of what I want to build, and I really didn't want to build anything while I was working on this. I could work on the air brake system, so let's work on that. I'm more interested in that right now. Air brake work. Zachy doesn't have internet. That's no good. All right, so let's work on this. I started working on this, back when this first came out. And so, again, part of me taking a break was, a lot of people decided to keep playing and just keep getting frustrated and keep changing their builds over and over and over and over again. And I find that frustrating as well. And so what did? I took a break. I think a lot of people would benefit from a little break, you get re-inspired. And then when things are kind of settled down and you know how things are going to work, you're good to go again. So that's kind of why I took a break. And I think some people could get some value out of a break now and again. All right, so let's go. And so let's see. So this is going to be my air brake system. So we have a seat. We have channel 2 is, that is the WS key. If we get to -1, which is the braking threshold, it will start to blow out air like it would IRL. And then here we have tank pressure. If tank pressure is less than 8.16, it will turn the pump on. All right, so let's go ahead and give this a look. I'm just going to kill the music so I can listen to this system here. Don't know what that is anymore. All right, so here we have the tank is pressurized to 8 atmospheres. Reason I did 8 atmospheres is that is what it would be IRL. So as I press the brake on here, this valve should open, as you can see. And so it's leaking air out when I depress the brakes. Now, it doesn't really work this way. I might advance this a little bit more, but this is going to make it more practical. So when this hits 8.16, as you can see, it just added air. So the pump will turn on when it hits 8.16. So we'll wait. And as you can see, it just takes like a fraction of a second for that pump to run to be able to refill the air tanks. So that is working for our air brake system in our truck. So that's good. I'm going to probably want to do a belt-driven pump, I'm thinking. So I'm trying to think of if there's better ways to do this. So let me try something here. Because right now, if I do this way, I'm going to have to completely rewrite the way my brakes work. And that's kind of gross. Let's see. Trying to think. I think the best way to do this. So there's a way I could probably do this. So the way it works in real life is when you step on the brake pedal with air brakes, you don't vent any air. All you're doing is you're moving the air from the tanks into the air cans to apply the brakes. Then when you let go of the pedal, you need to vent that air that is applying the brakes out, and that allows the brakes to release. And so let's say you're using 1 unit of air every time you apply the brakes. So you press and you hold the brakes, you have 1 unit of air came out of the tanks. It doesn't go anywhere until you let go of the brakes. You let go of the brakes, now that 1 unit is gone. If you tap the brakes, tap the brakes, tap the brakes, it would be 1 unit gone, 1 unit gone, 1 unit gone. So that's how you lose brakes. That's actually how you test them. You stomp on the brake pedal and it vents the air. And so this does a constant vent. I don't really want that. So, and this way I would have to completely change my drive systems on my truck. So I don't want to do that. So what I want to do is, let's see, let's go, we'll do a less than. Okay, so we'll go less than. If this is less than 0, and I want to pulse. So I want this to work like it would in real life. I want to depress the pedal, and then when I let go of the pedal, I want it to vent out a little bit of air. So I could make this even simpler. Let's see. Let's do that. Let's make this simple. I don't need this super complicated, so let's do that. So if this goes less than 0, it's just going to blink off once. Let's see. That's not what I want. Yeah, that's going to pulse once. Let's see. Let's run with this, see how this performs for me. And then I want to change this up because I'm trying not to have to redo all my trucks to just make the air brakes work. So let's go reset. We'll do 10%, which I believe is what they start at. Yep, okay. Let's see how this performs. All right, so we have full air pressure. I press the brake. Let's check this. So I'm holding the brake right now. So as you can see, I'm holding the brake. It is venting a little bit, which is good. And then I'm going to let go. And it's still going because of the blinks, the pulse and the blink on there. Let's go forward on W, see if we seal. So I can put an and in there. Okay, good. So as soon as I press the gas pedal again, that goes away once it hits 0. So we're not going to do 0. We're going to do a different number. So I want to get into the brake pedal a little bit. So we'll go property number. So let's see. Brake, vent. And so let's go, I don't know, point. Like that. Let's try this now. All right, so we're going to step on the brakes. All right, we're gonna let go of the brakes. And there we go, it stops. Okay. So step on the brakes again, we get a vent, and it stops. Okay, good. So that's working well. So that's going to vent the brakes every time, vent the air tank every time I step on the brakes. Nice. All right, and the other thing we're going to do is if the tractor is off, I'm going to put in a, so often your system will be a little bit leaky. So what I want to do is for this, trying to think of the best way to do this here. All right, let's do this. And so what I want to do is when the tractor is just sitting idle, or when the tractor is sitting with the engine off, I want it to have a very small leak. So this here, the blowout rate, 0.1 is too small for me, so we'll do like 0.3. Try that. And then what I want to do is, let's do air leak. All right, air leak is going to be 0.1. All right, and then if, so essentially what's going to happen is if the tractor is off, then that is going to leak. So what we'll do is we'll do an RPS value in. So we'll do number input RPS, okay. Let's do a threshold gate on this. So if the RPS is 0, i.e. the engine is shut down, we could do it a different way too. We could do it with the actual key too, but we'll figure this out later. So if this is 0, if the engine is off, we're going to get a slow leak. That often happens. You know, you have seals, you have lines, you have all sorts of different systems that are going to potentially leak. Also, you're supposed to empty your air tanks every night because you know, there's a lot of water in the air, and the water will get in your tanks and it will corrode your tanks. So you want to start with empty tanks generally. So the game will spawn in some air. So this will get us where we have a slow leak. So we'll go ahead and we'll test the slow leak for the air brakes. And so this should have a 0.1 on there. And as you can see, we are losing air pressure. And so as soon as we start this up, so what I'll do is do a keypad. As soon as we start the engine up, the air leak is going to stop essentially. So we, like I said, we could do this with the key as well, where if the key is on, so I'll decide later. But and see, we have an air leak going, and then we would do, let's say we have 5 RPS on there. The air leak should stop. Okay, good. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna redo a bunch of tutorials. I was waiting for them to finish. You know, like I said, they came out with that hotfix yesterday. It doesn't mean they still don't have more hotfixes to come, but it seems like the game's kind of getting there. That's why I think like a lot of people putting out tutorials, I think it was a little premature. Too much that's going to change. You know, you kind of have to wait till they settle down a little bit. How's it going there, Boathouse? So that works well as a air brake system, I find. So let's see. Yeah, so I think this works pretty well for us here. So there's some other conditions I need in this. So this is the pump. Don't need tank contents. So there's some other things with air brakes. When you're like, if you say you drain your your brakes down to 0, the brakes are going to start to drag, and they're going to, which means they apply a little bit of brake if you don't have enough air pressure, because you need air pressure to take off the spring brakes. They're brakes that literally will spring on if the pressure gets too low. And so if you had 0 air pressure in your tanks, your brake's going to be on, your parking brake's on essentially. And so if you get too low, it starts to apply the brakes. So we need something for that. So I'm going to do check some conversions here. So let's do atmosphere to PSI, and I think it's under 20. Let's see. Spring brake pressure application applied. Let's see. When it normally falls below 60 psi, that's when your brakes come on. So let's see. So that's 4. So when it gets below 4, all right, so if the air pressure here is less than all right, so the spring brake application here could do that. Yep. All right, spring brake application is going to be at 4 atmospheres. So if it's less than 4 atmospheres, it's going to start to add some spring brake. So what we'll essentially do is we'll do an up-down counter here, do very low, like that much. And then we will go and do 0 to 1. And so this is going to simulate brake drag. So as your air pressure gets too low, the springs will start to slowly apply the brakes on there. So you have this happen quite often where, like, if your air pressure is low, it'll feel like you have a little bit of brake on because you do. All right, and so this will get added to the brakes. So this will be, let's do an add. And so this will go, the brakes will go in through here, and then it will add to that. And that will go out to the service brakes. All right, service brakes. And then this is going to be to park brakes. Okay. And let's see, what do we want? Let's do at what pressure? Let's see. Pressure, park brakes applied. So if it goes below 20, yeah, we're going to get spring brakes on. So let's see, 20 psi is 1.3. So we'll say if it's below 1. Okay. So let's see. So we have 2 conditions here. So if you actually apply it, or if the pressure is less than 1, we'll do that. All right. Do brake drag. All right, so the brakes will start to drag at 4, and at 1, the spring brakes will come on. And so that will actually put the park brake on. And so that will put your brakes hard on. So if you don't have enough air pressure, the brakes are going to come on. So this will simulate a real life system. I don't need tank contents. So that can go. All right, so it's kind of a good template for what we have here. All right, and we'll put a brake wheel on here. And I'll do some testing. All right. And so that's the park brake, and this is the service brakes right there. Okay. And so what we'll do here is So your service brakes. So service brakes is going to end up plumbing in here. Okay, we need a function here. Let's just do a regular function. A one node function. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take number 2 here. We're going to do a negative x. All right, so the negative x is going to make it when it's positive. This is going to read a negative number, which will remove the brakes. When this is negative, it will read a positive, which will apply the brakes. So that will give us service brakes there. Alrighty. So let's test that out, because hopefully I just copy this logic into some of my other panels and we'll be in good shape here. Make sure that's hooked up. That is okay, good. Alright, so let's test it out. So we're going to start with, we have a leak because the engine's off. We're going to go ahead. Okay, engine is now on. All right, engine's on. The leak stops. Okay, good. I can't see my wheel. That was thought that might happen. Let's go ahead and we will fix it so I can see my wheel. I do like these new fluid ports so we can put things right in front of them. That is kind of convenient. So. All right, let's go test that out. All right, we got a leak. Let's go ahead and turn the engine on. All right, leaks should stop. Leak stops. Okay, good. So brakes are false, and then we want to press the S key. As you see, we're applying brake pressure. Good. We should also be losing air pressure, and it's refilling as well. That works. Beautiful. And then let's see. And then what we'll do here is we will go ahead and we'll leak the air all out. So now we have our parked leak. And eventually this will turn on, so. It might be refreshing, I have to see. Oh, yep, okay, so I need to fix something. So the pump is going to be engine driven, so the pump will automatically shut off, but currently the way I have it on here is it will just turn the pump on. So let's do, yeah, so I'm going to do an engine driven pump for the actual air pressure pump, but so that will work when I put it in there. And so this will be a regular park brake, like if I purposely apply the park brake or if the pressure gets low enough. So that works pretty well. So let's update this. Let's save this microcontroller, and I'll try to put it in one of my trucks. All right, good. So let's grab a truck. I had some issue with the cab over. I want to check on that one. Let's check that. I want to make sure. Let's make sure I try to get the latest version of it. There it is. All right. So I had an issue with this. I need to figure out what's wrong with this before I go into that. Let's see. No, the air pressure helps to seal it up. The air pressure helps fill the seals and gaps. You still could have a leak, but it leaks. Your air pump will come on at a certain rate, and it will fill the gaps anyways. The leak doesn't need to stay on. They tend to leak more. The air pressure is helping to seal the system. They still will leak. Everything leaks, but it does help to seal the seals when you have some pressure on them. Think of it as you have a rubber seal, right? As you put pressure on the rubber seal, it's pushing more against the surface, sealing it. So having pressure on the system, that's how like airplane doors work, is you can visibly look through the crack of the airplane door until the pressure starts to build and it pushes the seals and actually seals it up. So, all right, so let's see. I want to check this out, make sure this is running all right. All right, so we need to, the current system is I start with air tanks at 0, and then I need to build them up before I can go. All right, this seems to be running. I've been playing Farming Sim, so I have the pressing the wrong keys to try to change my camera. All right, so that's good. That seems to be running. All right, so let's try to integrate this system with this. Get up there, you. All right, good. So mostly I'm going to try to grab the logic and get it in here. I'm trying to come up with, get my chassis going here, so. Because this is going to be kind of the model where the chassis are going to get worked on from, so need to kind of get that in there. All right, see where these can go. Here's the tractor micro. Ideally, I'd like it in here. So let's see, what do we have? Speedo, tack, fuel, battery, RPS, clutch, fuel, pump, clutch, alternator, tack. Okay, so I think the braking systems are in the, yeah, they should be in the TTIS system, so they're probably in TTIS. Where is TTIS? TTIS has got to be this one? Nope. That one? Nope. Where the hell are you, TTIS? Down there. Okay, here's TTIS. That's my tractor trailer system. Let's see. We have tractor variable brakes and tractor park brake. That is good. Seat. Good. We get that. Engine panel. So this I should be able to read RPS off. So perfect. So ideally I'd like to put it in the TTIS system. So this should work out. All right, let's get in here. Let's quickly go back and we will grab the info from here. Ah. Press Control X instead of Control C. All right, good. That is good. Let's get out of there. Let's go to TTIS. Let's get in here. Let's put it there. Beautiful. Crap. Come on, man. I'm rusty. All right, there we go. All right, so seat 2. So I have to redo some of the braking componentry on here, so how all this runs. So I have to go through and redo the brakes. So all right, so that's engine panel. So that's Jake brake. What is 9? I don't know. 7 and 8. That's got to be fuel. No, it's not fuel. Okay, that's from the pump. Okay. So we're going to be changing up how all this works. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but it makes it better. All right, let's try to figure all this out and get this done. Here's tractor variable brakes, so that's coming up there. Jake brake, so here's the Jake brake, so... All right. And what is this? This is X plus Y. So this is the actual braking mechanism here, plus the Jake brake. All right, so this is post braking into Jake brake. And that goes to variable brake. So this is where we can start to cut here. Okay. And that is that was anti-lock brakes there. So let's see. Do we put on the anti-locks? Let's go post anti-locks. Okay, we'll go post anti-locks. So we'll keep this part here. So that's the ABS system. And so ABS should be able to plug right into here. Like so. All right, so the ABS will go in there. This can go adieu. All right. There's air leak. That's fine. That can go out. We have to deal with that at some point. Probably make this panel bigger. Here's spring brakes. So I need to find the park brake on this. And find where the hell that went. Here it is, trailer. Here's tractor park brake right there. All right. So this is if I actually press the switch for that, and this here is okay. This is the air read, so this is changing here, so that can go. All right. And so that can all go, and then this will plug into. So 12 is going to come down here now. And here is the spring brake application, so that is right there. Okay, and then you come down here now. That goes in there. All right, and then let's see. So we need to bring some stuff in. We have left directional. This is all the lights and stuff too. That's kind of a pain in the ass. That shit. This is already a kind of max size. So we'll probably take this in from the engine panel. Okay, light cord, RGB brakes. All right. All right, so we'll go ahead and update this, and then I need to go into the engine panel. Let me make sure this is what I'm running from. So let's see. Engine panel right there. Panels. Okay, good. That's that. We have fuel 1 and 2, battery, RPS, clutch. Okay, so I'm faking this air pressure, which is not great right now. So let's see. This is not ideal the way this is set up now. Let's see, logic. Can this get any bigger and not be absolutely enormous? It's going to have to go up a whole row. Let's see. Starter key, radiator, panels, transmission, engine. This is a pain right here. Clutch, pump clutch. Okay. Alternator, tack, speedo, fuel. Okay. All right, let's try to, I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. So what I think I'm going to do is do this a little bit differently. What we'll do here is we'll take this back, and I'm going to make a air brake module so that if you want to add the air brakes, you can, and it will plug right into TTIS. Because I'm going to need to either extend panels quite a bit or do a bunch of chicanery to get that to work. So what I'll do is this instead. And I'll make this panel integrate with it so that you can just plug right in. Yeah, the problem is the air tanks are faked. So they don't actually plug in, they just report. So like if you read here, they are reporting out it's fake. So right here, this is it here, it's faking them. So there's actually no input. So there's no input here. So I have no nodes that I can trade for that. That's the problem. So that's why that won't work. So what we'll do here is okay, so what I think we'll do is instead of taking in seat, we'll do this. We'll take in, let me check the seat really quick, make sure I really don't want that there. All right, so all the seat is doing for me is it's giving me my brake. So instead of seat, we're going to take that, and that's going to be a variable brake from TTIS. Okay, variable brake from TTIS. All right. Tank pressure blowout valve. Pump. Pump is likely going to be in number out. We'll try to do a belt-driven pump. We'll see. Input RPS. Do we want RPS? Probably not. We're going to do... I could keep the leakiness in there. Let's keep the leakiness in there, actually. Let's do that. That will cut us down a node. I'm trying to get rid of nodes here, so. Service brakes, park brakes. Okay. So that's there, and then I need to have... All right, so this is input park brake from TTIS. Okay, let's do that. So what this will do is that will bring park brake from the TTIS and it'll bring it in the system. This here will go variable brake goes there and there. This can go. There we go. All right. And then this is going to be a, we'll try a pump. Let's see if we can do that. I need to see if I have the node on the engine that I can fit that. Well, this is not very compact in here. Not much space in here. Might have issue running a pump off this. I can do it here. I can move a little mass. So I can fit it in there. What are you, a starter? Yeah, that's probably a starter. Okay, so here, because I actually want to do belt-driven pump because IRL, it's a belt-driven pump. So I really don't want it on the side though, so I need to move this weight here. So let's get rid of symmetry. That's gone. Okay, let's get rid of this one. All right. What are you, a starter, I believe? Alternator. All right, so alternator is going to go like this because the air tanks are often on the driver's side. So I want to put the air tanks on the driver's side. So that's there. And then I want a, let's do modular engine pump right here. Okay, there's a modular engine belt-driven pump right there. And then the air tanks are generally on the driver's side around right here by the stairs. The battery box is often also there. So I think I'll put battery box on the passenger side. Kind of stick the stuff wherever you can get it, frankly, IRL. But they're usually under the battery box and the air tanks are on that driver's side. And I can't really fit that with the way this... what are they, 3 long? They're 3 long, so they're a little bit on the big side, so I really can't do that. So I'm going to put this like that, and then we'll grab some wedges here. Re-chatting a little bit here. I'm just kind of grooving on this. All right, like that. There we go. So that's the battery box for the tractor there, and then we'll put air tanks on the driver's side. Like so. All right, here's tanks. So I want the smallest tanks I can get. And then where can I run these and not have them be an absolute pain in the ass? That is, what's that? That's fuel. So I'm going to go like, let's see, 1, 2, 3. 3 is in the engine. So if we go down there, do we have space if I go down? Yeah, okay, I can stick them down here. All right. So put a couple air tanks here. You generally have multiple tanks. Like on the Pinnacle I drove, there were 3. And I just have a lot of weight just to make this, behave more like a truck. So all right, so let's see. Which side are you? You are fluid in. That's the opposite side I want. Okay. Run like that. All right, let's go vert. Okay. That's fluid in. All right, now I need to put in a blowout valve. So probably here, See, this is the problem with everything being absolutely enormous. Start to run into space problems really quickly. Start to run into space problems very quickly here. We're close. We're very close to being able to have that where I need it. Let's go. It's on this side. Could go back there too, if need be. Let's put it back there, I think. Okay. So we need a blowout valve. Building that spaceship too much, it was vertical, so it was screwing up all my angles. I'm used to having it upside down now. I really don't want this sticking out of the bottom too much. I have to be careful of that. So let's see. Do I have a gap there? I do not. All right. I could put it in towards the body. I like having physical frame rails too, so I have to kind of cut through the frame rails, but that's not the end of the world. That's faked anyways. You're never gonna see it. That's one thing is like I start getting particular about this stuff, and it's like you're never gonna see it. Just ignore it. All right, and so then we need another fluid port here. So there we go. All right, good. So that should be blowout valve. So air is going to come in. It's going to pump through into the system. And then it has its blowout valve there. So that works. All right. Nice. All right, let's start plumbing this in. So part of the thing is I want to be able to just add this to the system. And then I'm going to have to run pressure gauges separate, which isn't the end of the world. So park brake. So let's plumb this in first. So park brake from the T-TIS system. So here is park brake. What was that? Tractor park brake. Tractor park brake there. And then this one needs to go to all the park brakes. So. Okay. So now that goes to the park brakes. So it's kind of a module you can just add if you wanted it. So tank pressure. The system pressure equalizes the pressure, so we just need one of them anyway. Pump is going to go to there. Variable brake from T-TIS. So here's the variable brakes. That's going to go there. And then variable brakes now come, that's blowout valve. Blowout valve goes to the blowout valve. Where's variable brake? Service brake right here. So service brakes are going variable, variable. Okay. All right, good. So that's plumbed in. All right, so that should work pretty well there. All right, that's pretty good. And then I need to figure out the gauges here, what I have here. So I have, looks like fuel and air there. All right, fuel 1, 2, and then air tanks 1 and 2. So let's see how that's run. Get them some numbers off of that. That is 5 through 8. 5 through 8. All right. Trying to think the best way to do this here. All right, let's see how I'm feeding that fuel info in there. Probably directly. Yeah. Let's do tank 1 pressure. Can't do that. What 1, 2? Yeah, okay, that will work. What? No. Fuels and then okay. Tank pressure. Yeah, we'll cheat that. And then fuels, we'll add the. I think the best way to do this. I really wish they would make it so they put a second node on the fuels so you can daisy chain them through, but I'm reading them as independents anyways. Let's see. Let's do number input. Fuel 1. Fuel 2. Okay, fuel 1 and 2, and then we'll just report out on composite output to engine panel. Okay. All right, it's good. So this is going to be I didn't mean to do that. Okay, like that. There we go. You there. You go up here, please. All right, this can go up. This be air pump. Do 1 for now. Clutch value of 1. Try that. Do more than that. Try that. We can that will kind of see how fast the pump rate is on that. All right, and then we brought in a bunch of crap here, so we need fuel 1 and 2. I'm going to read those out now to the engine panel, so I want a function. Let's see. Actually, I don't want that. So we're in gallons here, so I need to do a conversion for that. It's not in there. Let's see. 3785. Okay. All right. Try not to have this panel be too enormous because we have to be able to hide it. So, all right, that's good. This will go to the engine panel, and then was it 5 through 8? So let's go ahead and we will run. All right, so fuel 1, 2, and then we'll do air pressures. We'll just run those the same. Not as cool as I like, but that'll be fine. And then I need to do a pressure. I need to do a conversion on that. I want to do PSI, so I will do a PSI on this. So let's go. Where is my atmosphere to PSI? So I need to multiply by 14.696. Okay. All right, let's see. Copy that. Tank pressure's going in here. It's going to be the same number, but I might change it later where each tank reads out its own number, so I'll do doubles. All right, and that will read that. That should be good. Okay, update that. And then we're going to go in the engine panel here. All right, so this is all faked. The pressure gauges, those can go. This is all just pressure stuff on that. That's faked pressure gauges, so we're no longer in the realm of faked pressure gauges. We're now in the realm of real pressure gauges. All right, so let's see. We have so fuel here. I'm going to have to use one of these fuel nodes here. So both of those can go. So it's going to be a composite input from air brake panel. All right. confirm. Air brake panel's right there. This is fuel number. I don't know what that's all about there, but we'll screw with that later. And then fuel 2 can go adieu. All right, good. And so that's from the air brake panel. And then that should be, let's see, we're starting on 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good, that plugs in. Good. And then let's see, we want to go composite here from the air brake panel. Make sure everything's plumbed in here now. Fuel 1 is right. There's liquid level. There's liquid level there. And I think we're good. So let's spawn that really quickly. Let's check the tank pressure here. So we're at 4 atmospheres and dropping. We should get a spring brake should be on anyway, but all right, let's check the air pressure. Let's rev up. There we go, revved up to the air pressure. Should have a constant leak. I'll decrease the leak factor. That's kind of on the high end. It's not terrible. Let's hit the brakes. We should get a leak, a higher leak. All right, good. Let's remove the spring brakes, or the park brake, which is removing the spring brakes, but. Yeah, that leak's excessive. Yeah, that would be a really bad leak if it was that bad. So I'll just decrease that value. That's why I did property numbers. I can easily change them. So fuel tank looks good. That seems to all be running. Let's hit the brakes. Why is this going way up in pressure? I'm getting no brakes either, so something's up. I'm not getting any brakes. All right, so something is up. I need to fix this. I'm getting 0 in the braking department. That's not good. All right, let me check some chat here. Check the old chat. How's it going there, Variante? Oh, yeah, the new port design. I have to look at it. I might like the one I have better. I don't know. Yep, yeah, I put nameplates on my engine. Isn't most pumps gear driven from the engine? It is. The air compressors are usually electric clutches off of the engine. So it's an electromagnetic clutch off of the belt drive. So it's a belt-driven pump. See if I can find a picture. Let's see. If I find a picture of it. Let's see. I'll do semi because they depends. Some of them were belt driven, some of them are gear driven, but I can't remember if the Pinnacle's gear driven because all the alternators are still belt drives. I think some of them are gear driven. Like this Volvo's gear driven. They may have changed them all over to gear driven at this point. I can't remember. The cat's knocking everything over. Yeah, so it looks like most of the new ones are gear driven. How's it going there, Rasmus? It's not a Mac. This isn't a Mac anymore. This is my own brand. Chat has not froze. I've just been busy. How's it going there, KSP? Yeah, if I'm trying to build something, I have to pay attention to that. I can't really pay attention to chat and build at the same time. All right, so something's up with the brakes. Let's see what the hell's wrong with my brakes. I have no brakes. Let's quickly just do a quick check here node-wise. So we're going from variable brakes are going to the to this panel. Let's check it here. Likely it is a problem here because it was working before. All right, so where's the brakes? So variable brakes are coming in here. They should be so when we have a negative, say -1 is maximum braking, it's going to turn to a +1, which will then be added to this value here, which is the spring brake drag. This will go up to a 1, and it will go to the surface brakes. So why is that not working? Don't know why that's not working. My brakes, I have no brakes, so that's not good. It should be just adding it to that. That should be fine. That's not a negative value, so it's not like it's killing that. Okay, let's update that. Let's check the TTIS and see if the problem is in here, if I didn't connect it through properly. So here's variable brakes right there. This keeps the ABS system in there, so I kind of have that going. Clamp is enabled. That would be the problem there. I thought I'd fixed that at some point. That's probably the problem there. All right. Let's test it. All right. So let's go and we will take off that and I will just slam on the brakes here with a trim and we'll go check them, make sure they're reading through. And they are. Perfect. Okay, that's good. So that was the problem. Okay. That's good. So let's watch this leak. As we get down in pressure, we should start to get the spring brakes coming on. Notice the variable brakes are coming up. Why is, see, the other brake should be on, though. The park brake should be on. Okay, that's reading a negative variable brake, so I have to fix that. That's wrong. And the park brake should be on. So we have a bunch of issues here. But the spring brakes appear to be coming on. They're just going backwards, so I need to fix that. All right, spring brake drag. Tank pressure is less than 4. Want to increase the value. That's good. That might be just low, low, low. But that seemed like it was working fine. Why the hell is that reading a negative brake value, though? You know what it is? I already inverted it. That's why. I already inverted the brakes because initially I was going to do it through this panel. I already inverted the brakes. That's why we're having problems. That is what the problem is because I already inverted it. So I'm inverting it a second time, which is not going to work. Okay. So that should fix that problem. Why the hell are the park brakes not coming on is the question. So park brake from TTIS. If this is less than 1, let me see. Yep, so if this is less than 1 atmosphere, I want these park brakes on. All right, so let's check that really quick. So that inversion was incorrect. So we should be leaking. Oh, I took the brakes off. That's why the brakes are off. I took them off. Okay. So brakes are true. I want to take the brakes off, the parking brake off. Let me use the right term. Let's take off the parking brake. So spring brakes are released. And it looks like, are we leaked? Oh my God, why am I in no clip? Check, see, I should be able to read this tank outside. All right, so we're below 4 atmospheres and we're already at maximum braking. And once we get down to 1 atmosphere, the parking brake should come on. All right, so what I'm going to do is that's going to take 100 years. So what I'm going to do is come in here and we'll go to the brake leak will be a 0.5. Let's test this out. I want to just test the spring brakes, make sure the spring brakes come on. Right. So let's see. So you see the variable brakes are coming on as we lose pressure from the leak. The leak is way too high, but the variable brakes are starting to come up. They're starting to drag the brakes like they would IRL if your brakes, if you lose too much air pressure. Check how this leak is doing here. All right, so we are below 1 atmosphere. We should have park brakes on. Park brakes are true. All right, good. So that works. So the park brakes are on now. So we've gone low enough on that you know, we've gone low enough on air pressure that the parking brakes have snapped on. So, you know, even though I have the button pressed out, in real life, what would happen is the button would automatically pop out. You need some pressure to hold the button in. And so the button would pop out automatically if it went below that, but I can't do that. So that's, even though that my brakes are released, my brakes are on because my pressure is so low. So that works out well. Random music, I turned the music back on. I shut the music off when I was testing running the engine, and then I stopped running the engine, so I turned the music back on. Not really random. Oh, do y'all? That's too bad. I'm gonna go take a quick bathroom here. I'll be right back. So it appears that the system's running here. So we'll get turned on here and we'll get going. So here comes the air tanks coming up. We're building pressure. We'll go ahead. There we go. Hit the accelerator. Tank pressure's coming up. Why is it going back down like that? It's weird. Oh, because I have the air leak overset. Okay, the air leak's overset because I was doing that test, so I have the air leak way too high. So the air leak needs to be like 0.01. What is this brake vent? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I know what that is now, so that's fine. Pump cut in is good. Blowout is good. Spring brake drag is at 4. Okay. Okay. That is good. Okay. Air pump at 0.5 is probably in the high end. Let's go like 0.1. It's 0.1 on that. Okay. I want this to work as realistically as possible. Okay. So here we go. Why I keep hitting the home key? I've been playing Farming Sim, so a bunch of my keys are now screwy. All right. Let's go into neutral really quick and rev up. Okay, that's good. So I want to make sure the general operation of the truck is good first. I keep pressing C for a camera now. I slam the brakes. Good, we have ABS. ABS works fine. So I think I need more leak. I don't have enough leak on there, but anyway, so that's kind of cool. I have an air brake system that works there. So I'll increase these to like 125s. So that works out really well. So that's nice that we actually have a keep hitting C again. So that's pretty small panel. The other benefit is this, is I want to make it so that, like, if you want air brakes, you can add them to the T-TIS system. All you have to do is, like, say you have a tractor that already has T-TIS, you can, if you have a tractor that already has T-TIS, you can just take this panel and add it, essentially. If you do not have if you don't want it, then it doesn't matter. You don't have to have it. So it's kind of an additional panel you add if you want that functionality. So, because I want to get those chassis done at some century, and so let's check. You know, people are complaining. I keep pressing the C key again. People complaining about cooling. Let's see. I doubt I have any problem with cooling, because I tend to run my engines at realistic and reasonable RPSs. So I generally don't have cooling problems, but we'll see. People are complaining about cooling problems, so I don't see myself having a problem. I'm at max RPS. As you can see, I'm up to 25. The radiator's not even going to be on at this temperature, so radiator won't come on until we get up to about 100 degrees anyway, so I doubt I'm going to have any sort of heating problems with it moving this slow. You know, we're at max RPS and I'm not going to have any cooling problems, so theoretically riding in the desert maybe, but I'm not even concerned about it. I think it's a lot of people are just running unrealistically high RPS with poor cooling loops and having issues, so I'll have to test some, but I think we're probably pretty good here. Keep pressing C. That's what I hate, is the keybind in another game. You start getting used to it, and it screws you up when you get back. It's like Tarkov. It's devastating when I screw up my keybinds for Tarkov. But this is working well, so let's get out of here. And oh, Jesus Christ. Grab you. Did I completely screw this up? Let's grab this. Let's do this. Let's copy that. All right. Let's save this. All right. Let's save this as air brake work. All right, good. So that's plumbed in there, and then let's go back to the cab over air brakes. This panel here can be cut, pasted there. This can all go away. I think that's the best way to do it, is make it as an additional module. Okay. And let's go ahead and we will fix this paint and try to find a place to hide this panel. Let's see, what numbers are we looking at here? 5x2. Let's find a 5x2. That's T-TIS in there. That's one of the reasons why I do sleeper cabs in some of these, is just to get the panels put away. What are you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5x3. Okay, I don't want it there then. Let's see. Dost thou have a 5x2 space? Probably not. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, it's a 4. That could be it right there if I move this light, but I kind of wanted that light where it's sitting. So let's see. What are you? Right there. That can't. Light can't be obscured there. Be too easy if this was just easy to put away. All right. This does not have a cab tilt, so it can just sit on the engine. But nice to get air brakes in. I've been kind of looking forward to the pressure update. I'm more interested in the pressure update than I am in the space DLC part of it. But, for a lot of this stuff, it's just super cool. The ability to add pressure to stuff and to actually have things like working air brakes. Alright, good. So that is all set for working air brakes. And I think it's pretty intuitive. It's pretty easy to add because, like, as long as you have a TTIS system, you're pretty much just plugging in the nodes from TTIS in through this panel to give you air brakes. And then you can choose however you want to put the gauging as you like. Let me read some chat. Yeah, let me tune up the leak. I want a little bit more leak. Let's do, yeah, like, let's try, like, that. That'll be half of what it was, and 5 times what it was this most recent time. So that works pretty well, I think. That's kind of a nice new cool feature. Works realistically. Let's index some gauges. These need to go up to 125s. All right, there we go. All right, nice. So that was fun to get back to. Check some of his chat. How's it going there, Ghost Cone? Can't add or remove pressure to enclosed area. Like, what do you mean, a custom tank, Ghost Cone? Yeah. Yeah, I think, like, you hear, like, you'll see some of these people will complain about cooling problems, and then, like, you'll ask what RPS they're running at, and they're running at 60, which is insanity. You know? Like, this truck, I think, caps out at... Let's see, what's max? Max RPS is 15. It never reaches 15. Remember, I do an overshoot method. I put it over what I want so I can have an artificially low P-value. So I might do 13 RPS maximum. And, like, you'll get people running 60s. And, of course, they're having problems cooling, you know. So a lot of it, that's part of the thing. It's, you know... A lot of it is, you know, the way people design their systems. And then you'll check out their cooling systems and they don't have consistent flow rates, and that will also screw that up, so. Yeah. Yeah, I need a low air buzzer. I need to put that in at some point. Airlock, okay. Like custom tanks, let me see. Let me see if I have, I'd say the best thing for me to test this is, let's go add-on editor, moon test. This is going to be the best way to test pressure in a pressure vessel. Let's make sure my player damage is off. Okay, good. And so I have a airlock system on my rocket. Game gonna crash? No. Okay. It was just thinking for a minute before it decided to teleport me. Alright, cool. Like, it's funny, all I want to build in Stormworks right now is farm machines. I would love a farming update. Alright, so here we go. So this has the airlock system in it. So we have crew atmosphere. Those are... Oh, so that's a new change, too. Remember before, the devs had the outside Earth spawning at 1 atmosphere, and inside was spawning at 0.95. It's now, notice, look, it's at 1. It's up perfectly at 1 atmosphere in there now. Nice. So that's another cool change. All right, so let's go. Let's open this door here. Let's turn the lights on. Okay, good. So now this crew compartment is at 1 atmosphere. The airlock is at 0.98. So we will equalize. Okay, is it going to work? Going on here. I don't hear the motors going. Did they change the volume on the motors too? A bunch of people were complaining about them being too loud, so I wonder if they lowered the volume of them. Okay, let's see. So we have payload bay at 9.6. We have exteriors, of course, at 0. Let's equalize the door here. All right, so the pumps are going. So I just probably have a bad pump connection right now because this one's working. So you can see I'm sucking the air out of the payload bay. And it's trying to equalize with the exterior. Yeah, I usually idle around 3.5. Sometimes, like, if I'm using high torque applications like a truck, I might idle high at a 5, but I'm usually around 3.5. Actually, no, I'll usually idle at 3.5, and I'll do clutch application at 5 for a truck because I want higher torque to start with. That's one thing that's like, it was funny. Somebody like criticized one of my trucks for it was slow to drive. It's supposed to be slow to drive. It's a truck, but part of that is like when you're in real life and you especially have a manual tractor, what you're going to do is if you have a heavy trailer, you will rev up higher before you start taking the clutch out. If you're bobtail, you have no trailer or you have a light trailer, you're not going to rev up very much. You might not even rev up. You might set it idle and let the clutch out and go. Especially on a tractor, if you are bobtail, you will not add throttle when you go. You have enough torque, you just need to start bringing up the clutch pedal. And then once the clutch is all the way out, then you add power. If you have a heavy trailer, you need to rev up and then release the clutch. If you're let's say you're in a weak car with like a small 4-cylinder, you're going to have to rev that car up. You can't just lift the clutch up, you will stall because the car doesn't have enough torque to get going. You need to rev and then let go of the clutch. So these are the things like, especially like, you'll get some people make comments who've literally never driven a manual car before, and so it's, it depends on the application. You do different things. For example, if you're on a hill in a manual car, of course you're going to rev up more before you let out the clutch because you need to overcome the gravity of the hill. If you're going downhill, you don't need to rev up at all. You just take your foot off the clutch because gravity is going to help you go down the hill. So a lot of these things, you would do IRL, and you can't do it in game very well. You can't really work a clutch, and you can't feather right. So like a lot of my automated systems, like my trucks, like I was saying, I make it so the clutch doesn't go in. The clutch doesn't engage till 5 RPS. That way you have more torque, so I can carry a 250,000-pound trailer with that cab over, and it doesn't stall. Because IRL, you would rev up your engine. And then bobtail, you wouldn't. So it's like, instead of having double settings, you do stuff like that. So you could hear it inside, though. There's plenty of air. Inside here, there's air. So you'd hear the pump in there. Plus, the pump is attached to the bulkhead, so it would vibrate the bulkhead and vibrate the air that's in the room. But now I wouldn't be able to... I would be able to not necessarily hear it. I'd be able to feel it because my feet are touching the floor. But if I was in the air, I wouldn't be able to hear it. Like here, I wouldn't be able to hear it if I was jumping. But yeah. Nobody can hear you scream either when the alien comes. How's it going there, Polaris? Yeah. It depends on a lot of my stuff. Like, a lot of the cars, I'll do clutch applications lower. Trucks and bigger trucks will go higher. Like I said, I want more torque. I do a lot of work with my trucks in game. A lot of people don't. They just drive around, and that's fine. But like like you see, like when I do some of my oil ops in the career build series, that trailer has 250,000 liters and I run 2 of them. Or no, it's 250,000 pounds. That one trailer would be. I know, maybe it's the doubles. I think the doubles are 250,000 pounds. That makes sense. So that's 250,000 pounds that you're pulling, so you need to rev up enough that you can tow that. So once we get to 0.01, this is going to go. So I have this going really, really low so that we don't lose any air in this system. So it's taking a while to pump out. It's normal, though. It's a normal pump out time. And here, we're going to get the door open. So my airlock seems to be working. Let's close this door again. Okay. And it's filling the air up with the stored air, or filling the room up with the stored air. Might be a little bit on the low side because I do not pump air back in the room. I just equalize it with a valve. So we lost some air on that. That's to be expected. That's fine. This door equalizes. This one I was having problems with. This one, yeah, this one I'm having problems with. But it looks like, you know, the whole point of the test was for a ghost con, so the airlock was having problems. But I'm having no problem pumping in here and out. This is just a logic malfunction I'm having there. So, yeah, I'm having no issues with that. I don't know what you're having. You know, you can post your build to help, and I can help you there. But yeah, so it looks like my airlocks are working. Let's see what I want to do. Let's get off of this celestial body here. Teleport there. I want to do a quick test with a pump. So let's see. Let's see. What do I want to do? Let's grab... I'm trying to think what I have for a microcontroller. Trying to see what I have for my most recent engine microcontrollers I kind of want to dick around with. Let's see what has an APU. I'll just find a panel in a second here. Let's get working on something. I want to try to get a pump going. I don't think I'm going to need unrealistic amounts of torque to get these running. So let's do a little test here. So let's do... I don't think we're going to need an absolutely enormous engine for this. We'll see what I need here. Let's try a 6-cylinder, flat 6. Of course you're offset. Why wouldn't you be? There we go. Come on, man. Where is the cranker? There's the cranker. There is belt drive. Okay. Do normally aspirated just to make it easy for now. I would love them to do something with hydrogen. That would be kind of neat. Even the ability to plumb hydrogen through, like one thing I really like is farming. Some kind of brought this back into focus for me was biogas. Like what they'll run is they can pretty much take a caterpillar. Doesn't have to be Caterpillar, but a Caterpillar, because why would you choose anything else? But a Caterpillar diesel motor and for a generator, and they'll instead of diesel, all they have to do is plumb methane directly into the air intake, and they can run pretty much a cat diesel generator as a methane driven generator. And so this allows them to, like, you could make a small biogas plant by just pretty much taking it out of the box diesel you know, a diesel generator and plumbing the methane directly into the air intake, because you're blowing, you know, you have a blower blowing the air in, so it's blowing the air methane mix into the cylinder for the diesel, and it's and once it hits enough compression, it's going to light off just like a normal diesel. So you know, and you should still, the lubrication pump still should be going. I don't think you're getting that much lubrication from the diesel, so I don't think I really worry about it. Yeah, because I've seen people do direct systems like that. Just reading some chat. Yeah, Packard. I'm not a huge fan of Packard. The Detroits aren't too bad. I'm not a huge Cummins guy. I know some of the guys in the shop just love Cummins, so like they tended to really like them. So I, you know, they certainly know more about that than me. But I like the Caterpillars. They had leak issues with the Seals and the Cats. They stopped making tractor motors, which kind of sucks, but. So I'm going to see, like, how big of an engine do we need to get max levels of pumping for this? Because eventually, like, what I like to do is I started a pumping trailer for my space ops. Again, I'm not really feeling like doing too much space stuff, but, you know, I also like to kind of figure some of this stuff out, so. I'm trying to think what I want to build, you know. I'm really, like, kind of enjoying my break still, and I don't know what I really want to build all that much. So let's see, okay. Let's go ahead and save this. Maybe, I think I'll take the fire trucks. The fire truck or Minky's APU. Probably fire trucks. Gonna be easier to pull it off of. Let's see where the APU panel is here. I'm just trying to find a panel I can pull off this here. Alright, where are you at there, guy? Right here. Okay. APU right there. APU, okay. Doing my best not to start building a new airplane. Need to get back into career build series and do a bunch of stuff like that. Need to do some build reviews. I wasn't going to do any build reviews until everything got fixed, and I need to reach out to people and make sure that their stuff is working right, because it's not fair to, you know, try to go use their builds when they may not be working correctly because of stuff. So, you know, I'm gonna give it some time too for people to get readjusted to kind of what things are doing now with the current state of the game. And I think it's starting to get to the point where things are pretty good, and you know, that's where we want it, you know. So, ooh, this could be interesting. Let's see. So, what's that? Alright, so I need to redo the way this works, essentially. So let's see. So we have RPS goes in the second PID. Alright, so the way I run my APUs is the first PID, I tell it I want a battery value of 1, and then I put in the battery, and then I'm running it at a very high p-value, 2500. And so all this, and then it goes into a clamp, and the clamp is set between the idle RPS and the maximum desired RPS. And so what that's going to do is when the battery is very low, it's going to set the engine to a maximum of 30 RPS. So, okay, you need a lot, your battery's very low, it's going to rev you up to 30. So you go into the second PID, and the second PID's job is very simple. It's to just give you between idle and max. And it goes through, gives you between idle and max, bingo, done. So the pump system is going to work very similar to the APU, where essentially the difference is going to be instead of, so a constant number of 1, we're going to change. So let's go ahead and let's go right here. We'll do number input, desired. I keep doing PSI. We'll do atmospheres. I'm used to PSI, but then I have to convert it, so we won't do that. So desired PSI is going to be right here. Desired atmosphere. Yeah, I keep saying it wrong. And instead of battery, what's P1 and P2? I don't know what that's all about. P1 and P2 can F right off. All right, P1 and P2 are gone now. So what we'll do here is I will add a number input, and this is tank pressure. All right. Now this might not be the best way to do this because I have to then read the tank pressures, but we will see. In this system, it's going to work. In this setup, it will work fine. So what this is going to do is it's going to take the desired atmospheres, and it's going to take the tank pressure, and it's going to then set this, and it's going to give us a max value of 30 RPS or a min value of that, and that's going to get the engine running to do that. So it's essentially like an APU, but it's working off pressure instead of trying to recharge a battery. What it's trying to do is it's trying to pressurize the system. That's kind of why I went with an APU. It does the same type of thing. The desired atmosphere, we're going to do a keypad. Like that. All right, so here's the keypad. It's going to read out the desired atmospheres. Then we're going to do tank pressure. All right, and then we have RPS of the engine. And then what do we have? We have APU panel. We have APU panel. We have engine. Engine goes there. Let's read what the numbers were on this. It was like 2 and 4. So 2 is starter, maybe. What is 4 is... Okay, so I have a push starter on 4. And what the hell is 2? 2 system on. 2 is system on. Okay, so system on and starter. Could simplify that. Okay, that's good. We'll run it like that. 2 and 4, and then what am I reading out here? That is battery, and that is delta. I don't really care about that. So we'll just update that. We'll take a panel. Because essentially what I want to do is get a panel going so that when I do want to make a pumping system, that it's good to go. So flip switch. This will be system on. Start it. All right. That'll go there, and then I don't really care about these at the moment, but I'll number them for now. So that'll be. All right, that's good for now. Make sure everything's connected. I think we're good here. All right, let's try to give this a crank, see what happens. All right. So, is this running or not? I can't tell. Okay, let's put in desired atmospheres of 100. There it goes. All right, so as you can see, we're doing 1,200 liters per second. So we do not need an enormous system to pump these. This is a 6-cylinder. Again, you notice we don't need enormous RPS. Notice I have no gearing on this. None. We're doing 1,000 liters per second. So, not too shabby. Pretty simple system here. Do not need a huge motor to run this. You know, you don't need a lot of RPS. You know, it's not really helping us to do a lot of RPS. And as the pressure drops on this side, it's going to, that's why we get the liters per second dropping, is there are fewer and fewer liters in these tanks. And so we're eventually, of course, our liters per second is going down because we just don't have that many liters per second going in there. The pressure is helping us get this system going faster. But that's not bad. You see, we're already at 26. So proof of concept, this works pretty well. I don't really need the flywheel on there, but I put it on there just to keep it. I don't think there's going to be system shock, but we'll kind of keep an eye on that. Okay. Let's go. Music come back on. Okay. Alright, so this is increasing tanks, so we just have more tanks, trying to cram more in there. So I want 100 PSI. So you see we're up to 8 RPS there, getting good flow rates here, pushing all that in there. Read some chant. Oh, was it there, Aaron? Yeah. I've always liked the Cat engine. I've never got to operate one of the Cat diesels, but I've always liked them. Most of the stuff I've run is MP8s. Bunch of like Packer crap and some Detroit stuff. But I always like, I don't like the V's. I like the inline 6s are my favorite. Dum da da dum da da dum. How's the big man doing? Yeah, I think hotfix is mostly over, but yeah, you know, there's no point in doing anything big until it's kind of solidified. You know, it doesn't, you know, it really doesn't bother me if it takes a month for him to get this worked out. This was a big update, you know, and this really adds a lot, the pressure side of it. And, you know, I think some people are a little bit, you know, going crazy with it. It's like, you know, just relax, man. It's like, good things take time, you know. They need to work the bugs out. You know, they need to come with a good balance where it's adding complexity, but it's not overly complex. You know, so it's tough to strike a balance. You have people who, you know, you have a lot of younger players who have no experience with mechanical anything IRL, and they come into the game and they still want to play and should be able to play. And you want to make it so that it's approachable, and so that it doesn't have too high of a floor. And you need to make sure the height of the floor and the ceiling is reasonable. So it takes a lot of tinkering to get those things right. And every time they tinker and make changes, you know, even if it's for the best, it's going to change things. And if you're somebody who doesn't adapt well to change, like sometimes I'm not, like I didn't want to rebuild Triton, so I'm not going to bother touching it until things smooth out. You know, so it's Sometimes you kind of just gotta hang back and relax and wait, you know? I gotta look into the big man challenge there. Been thinking of some things for that. Oh, that's nice there, big man. Finished finished first year university. Yeah. I got done with mine in 3.5 years. I wanted to get the hell out of there. I am currently building a pump here. So yeah, so you don't need these impellers going very fast to get really good flow rates on them. You know, some people get all annoyed that if something doesn't happen within 5 seconds, it's taking forever. It's like, you gotta have some patience, man. You know, there is a contingent of people who want a very arcadey game, and there's a contingent of us who want a very realistic game, and, you know, it takes hours to pump in real life, and it doesn't need to be hours. It could, you know, but it should take some minutes to pump. You know, it's that makes it, to a certain extent, a rewarding experience. I understand it annoys some people, the speed of how some of these things take, but, you know, if everything's instant, then there's no real reward for it, you know, and it's, you know, part of this preparation process for getting to space, I think, is fun. Like, if you could spawn the spacecraft 100% full, sure, it's great. You can just go do the things, but it's also, like, it helps you engineer more things. For example, like, I have a trailer that, you know, has these tanks and needs this pump. That's why I'm working on it. And so, like, you will actually bring trailer loads of gas to the space shuttle and load it, you know. And that's kind of, I find that more interesting than, oh, space shuttle's ready. Oh, good, we're at the moon. Bye, see ya. You know, that's kind of a little bit mundane to me personally. Do tanks now spawn with only 5 atmospheres? No clue. No, 5.9. They're spawning with 5.9. I see what you're saying. I thought you meant tanks as in like a, as in the vehicle, a tank. All right, so this, because I'm putting in this, so you're like, I probably fool the system. You see, can I? Maybe not. So there's 60 atmospheres in there right now. And see, we're very low on this side, so the likelihood is it's going to take a long time to pull out of that. I have a train that works now. It was broken due to game mechanics in 10 months, but I don't complain. Yep. Well, that's the thing, is like, you know, I'm thrilled that pressure is here. You know, like, I really enjoy building that air brake system. You know, a lot of people are going to be annoyed that, you know, by, oh, my this thing that worked doesn't work anymore. And some of it, I think, needs to be understood that a lot of people just don't have, and I'm certainly compassionate to that issue, because there are a lot of people who have no mechanical background who do not understand these mechanics. And so it's very frustrating for them when they get something working and then it stops working. For me, it doesn't really bother me, because I have the background, I have the ability and the confidence to be able to go and fix it and make it work better. And some people don't have that, and so I'm certainly compassionate to that. But at the end of the day, this is the complex game out of building games. You know, and for some people, they don't really want a complex building game, yet they're here. And so I think adding the complexity in these cool things is nice, you know. But for a lot of people, you know, I am certainly compassionate that it's tough for them that they, you know, for example, like some people trying to do a transmission is pulling their hair out. It's easy for me to do a transmission. And so I certainly understand that when something changes like that, it's very frustrating for them, because a lot of it was guesswork and just like, it just happened to work and they don't know why it works. And so for me, like, if something breaks like that, I can look at it and be like, oh, this is what they changed, this is why it broke, and this is how you fix it. So, you know, it can be tough for some people that just don't have the mechanical knowledge to understand what to do next, you know. Let us see. So, yep, so that seems like we don't need that big of a motor. Good. So I wanted to get a pumping microcontroller, and then this can be scaled to whatever, so that's good. Let's see. How Pumping micro. Okay, good. All right, so that is goob. So that's good. Let's see. I want to test something in, let's see. Let's go, where's my base plate? So I have yet to test since they did the most recent hotfix that came out yesterday. Again, I want to see custom tanks. Custom tanks weren't really working all that well before. Let's see how they're working now. Okay. So they were doing the ability to push some liquid too. They were doing some liquid compressibility. So let's do meters, what I meant. Gas meter in here. All right. Barrow. Okay. Gas meter, barrow, and then I will just do a impeller. Yep, that was right the first time. Rarely it's the other way. Fluid out, okay. I need a valve to use out. I need a valve. I keep forgetting I need valves here. If I put it there, that won't escape. So we can do one valve. Should work. Okay. How the hell did I offset that? Alright, there we go. Alright, good. That's in. Let's go. Fill this custom tank. Just bang a bunch of air in here. Alright. Try digging around with a custom tank here. Alright, so barometer showing just under 1 atmosphere. About 7, yep, so fluid capacity about 18.4. Let's, okay. That's spinning. Did I hook that up? I did. Okay, what's the RPS? Is 0.9. Let me get up there so I can actually see what I'm doing here. So I'm running real low RPS in this, so I'll increase it some more, get some more in there. I'm just gonna go ahead and we'll remove the cap on this, and I'll just hammer it and see, just for testing. Just pull the cap off it. So this is kind of like, not necessarily best case scenario, but it's pretty good case scenario. I'm just gonna see what we can get on this pressure-wise. So see, look at this. It was doing 266 at 0.01, and it's doing 266 at 19. So, like, you know, you don't need this RPS cranked way the hell up. You're not getting any benefit from cranking that RPS way up. Just not. So it's a lot of wasted energy to do that, you know, either electricity wise or in the case of like what I was doing there before, diesel. You know, so I think you're gonna see a lot of people trying to slam these impellers into like insanely high RPSs. You're really not gonna need to. Like, you could literally down gear the hell out of them too, you know, and pretty much run them with anything. You could run a 1-cylinder diesel probably and get pretty good flows out of there. Right, like that's 3 RPS right there, and I can't go any lower because the throttle can't go any lower right now. But like, and this is pretty much, you know, the devs always have to try to figure out, how do we go insanely arcade or do we go realism, and they have to strike a balance there where it's not super goofy. And you also start getting into some problems. Is delta P, change in pressure, can be dangerous. You know, you can cause problems where, for example, you open your door, it throws the door open. And, you know, of course, IRL, there's a lot of dangerous problems. And so you have to think of that, too, is like, if you spawn something in the game and it has a hatch on it, if the pressure's too high, the hatch won't adhere. It will slam open, you know, so if you make it so you can change pressure too quickly, you're going to have problems as well. So, you know, I know some people want everything a little bit faster, but the negative aspect of that is you start running into problems where, you know, it has secondary consequences. So you have to think of that. You know, we're up to 3 atmospheres here. There's a pretty big volume. So I was going to let this kind of run for a little while. CVT, ick. Yeah, I certainly get that. It's off-putting to put that on, but it's, you know, if anytime we get a new mechanic or part, things are going to have to change, and change means breaking, you know, and so it does suck, absolutely. But I think it's for the greater good in the sense that, you know, like, you know, you do modular engines, things change, but they're for the best. And then, like, you know, how many years are we out from modular engines? 2 years out from modular engines now. I wouldn't give up modular engines for the world, but at the time, it's very inconvenient. You know, you change something like the mat, you know, like a lot of people keep asking for buoyancy changes. I don't think they should do buoyancy changes. I think it's fine the way it is. But, you know, everything would break. And, you know, some people would love that. Some people wouldn't. So it's kind of like, you know, everything has its upsides and its downsides. And that's kind of the issue with it, you know. Yeah. The diesel is not cheap at the moment. I'd like to get a pickup truck myself again at some point. Alright, so I don't know how long this has been going, but that's 4 atmospheres. Alright, so let's try something here. And let's try... You know, generally the fluid ports and the pipes are going to be the limiting factor. We're at 266. Alright, so let's do this. So the fluid ports are a limiting factor, and the pipes are a limiting factor. Let's actually, yeah, let's go. We'll just do 3s. So let's do 3 fluid ports here. So we are 266 before. All right, let's do that. All right, still at 266. And so this fluid port here is probably the limiting factor. So let's go like this. and we went down. So likely we're having some, as this comes in here, it's slowing down the airflow through the through this junction. All right, so that is even slower than it was before. Which, remember, we were getting, we had 75, 75, so the flow rates have increased over time, but, so likely we're going to have a limiting factor of the, it's going to be probably pipe or fluid ports. Let's go ahead, do this. Give me all this crap. Oh my god. Why won't it, what happened there? Why won't it give me the, did I delete it? I did delete it. Okay, that would be why. Like, why isn't it giving me the part? Because I deleted it. Okay, let's go like this. So let's see. We'll copy you. What happened to these? Where the hell did they go? Right there and right. Nope. Right there. Okay. Alright, 266, 266, 266. Alright. That definitely seems like the way to be doing it is to do concurrent systems. Because you're gonna overload the fluid ports, you're gonna overload the pipes before, you know, so like you're gonna probably see people trying to do pumps in series. I doubt that's gonna be helpful. I doubt, you know, doing multi-port is going to be helpful. You need to do, you're going to pretty much run to your max capacity on your pumping system, and you need to have an independent in, an independent out, and an independent pump to be able to fill faster. So if you want to fill faster, like, see, we're already up around 4 atmosphere. So we should be going triple the speed here, it looks like. So that seems like that's going to be the best way to fill something. Reading some chat. What I would like to see is, I would like Suzuki back in the US. I want a Suzuki Jimny, that's what I want. Yeah, I like diesels, but I definitely wouldn't be paying for it myself. Yeah, so this seems to be going to be the best way, is running multi-pumps, and you need multi-ports. So that's going to be something as well to think about. So if you want to pump your systems up fast, you're going to have to do this, something like this. I'm going to quickly go, and I want to test the diving bell. We're not at FJ anymore, are we? Somebody was saying that moon pools, diving bells weren't working. I want to check that out. Where the hell are we? There we are. That definitely seems like the way, if you need to pump large quantities, to do it that way. My god, what am I doing? Sticky problems here? Come on. Right. Okay. Alright, here's the ballast tank right here. This was the one I did before the, or right when it came out. Right when the update came out, I think what I did this day of, something like that. Alright, so we're in the ballast tank. It's full of water. Of course, it's on the bottom. Alright, so the ballast tank is now open. It's blowing air, and that's why I'm having issues here. Can't get in. There we go. Alright. And so what is this? There we go. So it's going to try to push me out. So it appears the ballast tanks are working. It's starting to right the ballast tank. Let's see. There we go. So yeah, somebody said ballast tanks aren't working. They appear to be working to me. And this is with the thing I made day one, so it's not like this is a new to work with today's system. I think a lot of people are just taking their own. They just don't understand the mechanics, and they're taking it as though it's something that's wrong instead of that they just don't understand the mechanics sometimes, because this works fine. And this is should be a moon pool. This should work. I'm currently fighting to get up there. I'm having problems. You know what it is? It's my W key on my keyboard. So here, let's teleport here. So that ballast tank seems to work for me. This moon pool seems to work for me. So yeah, so like I saw today, somebody like, oh, moon pools don't work. Great, thanks, devs. Works fine to me. Again, I think they're blaming the game for something that's just they don't understand the mechanic. It works fine for me. You know, here we go. Let's go ahead and stop pushing air in here. This is a moon pool. You have air pressure in the room. The air pressure is, so where is it? We're currently at, I don't have a barometer in here. I should put a barometer in here. Yeah, I have no barometer in here. I need a barometer. But you see that the room is full of gas, and that's keeping the air from coming in. If we go ahead and we pump out, start to bring the gas out. Where's the gas meter here? So the you see that gas is starting to pump out. I should have put a barometer in here, but I don't have one in here. What is this valve is what I want to know too. Valve is, okay, that's the outflow valve, so I probably need to open that. Okay, so see, we're pulling out, and look at what's happened to the water level. Water level's increasing, as we should expect it to. So, yeah, I think a bunch of this is people just not understanding how reality works, and that way they're not getting why their builds aren't working, because while this is not perfectly, you know, exactly realistic, it's utilizing realistic mechanics. You notice the liquid level is increasing as the air pressure is decreasing, which is exactly what should happen in here. You know, the limiting factor now just being that these pumps are probably pretty slow. You know, if I put the other impeller pump on there, that would probably pump faster. So yeah, ballast tanks are working fine. Moon pools are working fine. Yeah, see, we're moving at 39 liters per second. If I was using an impeller, we'd be at like, you know, showed 266 or greater. So yeah, I think that's it's working. You know, nothing else I can say other than it's working. What is this middle? Okay. Oh, you know what? I think this valve needs to be closed. That valve does need to be closed. All right. Yep, so that valve needs to be closed, or we're going to be recycling a bunch of pressure. So the gas meter, as you can see, the gas is liquid is increasing, gas is decreasing, as we should expect. So yeah, so this is exactly how a ballast tank or moon pool is supposed to work, is you're using the air pressure to push it out. So this is all working fine. So you know, like I said, I saw a bunch of comments on Reddit that it's not working. It's working fine. I don't know what people are talking about. So definitely appears to be working, which is cool. Moon pools are nice, and ballast tanks are nice. So yep, so this seems to be working. All right, I'm just looking at Reddit now, and I've got one from somebody that's on the top of it. It says, "Devs broke a few things ago. This was 11 hours ago." Okay, jet engines are completely silent. All right, so let's go test that out. Let's do infinite electric off. NP's coming up. I can hear them starting. I don't know if I can hear them running. People were complaining too that the jet engines were too loud. So did they lower the volume as people requested or not? I don't know. You know, so maybe the sound is broken. I can't tell. This probably wasn't the best plane to take. Let's bring the Cap Air jet because that's full jet. That has ducted fans on it. I'm just trying to get something I can hear. I could just take the rocket, but I don't want to take the rocket right now. You definitely hear them starting. Okay, so that sounds like ducted fan. So yeah, it appears that jet engines are silent at the moment. Modular engine-powered vehicles are now barely working, broken because of latest hotfix. We tested out my truck and it was working perfectly fine, so I don't agree with that. So yes, it sounds like jet engines are not making noise, which should be an audio fix that should not be that hard to fix. So I don't know why people are getting all crying about it instead of just posting a bug fix request. But Pierce module engines are working quite well, as you can see here. Looks like they're working to me. I don't have any issues with that. Okay, if open, doors now produce extremely annoying sound. Okay. If open, doors now produce an extremely annoying sound that loops another glitch. Okay, I have no clue what that means. Okay, so it just seems like complaining and not actually being helpful by putting up any bug reports. So, yep, sounds like somebody was just not actually trying to be helpful to get anything done. Yeah, so again, that's Reddit for you. So. So that's yeah. So that's Reddit complaining that there are some valid things on there, some invalid things, but again, need to go in the official bug tracker and put them there if you actually want things fixed. But I think some people just don't. They just want to complain, so they'll go there to complain instead of actually trying to get the things fixed, because it makes them feel good to be on the complaining side of the equation. So. Let's see, what else do we want to do? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, like somebody put, some modular engines seem to be working, some don't. Well, that would say to me that it depends on how you built it. Did you build it correctly? So this is a modular engine. Pretty much everything I have is modular engines. So let's see. That works. We tested that out. That works. Let's see. Let's test something else out. What else has a modular engine on it? That's the snowmobile for Big Man's Challenge. Modular engine. Seems to be working fine to me. Not only that, but the performance seems pretty much identical to how it was before. So, we're going, coming up on 70 miles an hour. There is 72 miles an hour, 73. That's what it was doing before, so, it's bouncing around because of the skis, but, yep, so that works. So it seems like people built their engines in a way that was not realistic, and then as they make certain things, the pressure realistic, then their stuff doesn't work. So were they using glitches for this stuff? I don't know, but so I know some of these complaints, they bug me because it's again blaming the game for the way they built their vehicle, and I understand that being frustrating, but it doesn't mean it's a game problem. It's an understanding of how mechanics work problem, which is not fair to blame on the game. There's like, yeah, the jet engine sound is very quiet. I don't get what's up with that. That's likely a problem. Yep, absolutely, I agree with that complaint, but I don't agree with some of the other stuff. So parking brake, release 5. Take the parking brake off. I keep pressing C because of playing Farming Sim. There's another modular engine, works perfectly fine. So one thing that could be doing this is a bunch of people I know they use an equation for their AFR, so they don't have to use a PID. Is their equation now borked because they used a weird equation instead of actually using a PID to control their AFR? That could have done it, because as they're taking in, like, did they set it so that their air-fuel ratio, are they not doing AFR air-fuel ratios? And so as the air volume changes, which is likely what's happening with the pressure update, their air volume's different. Is their engine and their microcontroller no longer accounting for the air volume change? That's likely what it is, I would say, if I were to guess. Which is not a dev pressurization update. How did I save a version with no hood? That's why I did pull the hood for something. So that's not really a dev problem. That's the way you built it problem. So I understand the frustration, but it's also, kind of have to build your stuff in a logical way. And the other thing I would ask people too is make sure your physics is set to high. Often when they do an update, your physics can change what setting you have. I've had that before where they've changed it and then it automatically will take your physics back to auto, and auto for a lot of builds does not work well. You need high physics because it will start to reduce the quality of how well your stuff's running in order to try to save you frame rates. So that's the other test I would tell people to do is check and make sure you're on high physics. All right, so that's the big annoying noise that a bunch of people are complaining about, is that air is getting trapped in their ship. Because if there's any sort of small pressure differential, the air has to go somewhere. So that is why they're getting a noise, is the air has to go somewhere. So I do need to fix these doors on Triton at some point. I'm not quite sure what I have to do now to fix them. Door panel. Where's the controller? I need to find the door controller. There's controller. Lock seal true. Seal state false. Let's cycle it. See if this will grab now. Because this used to grab. I think it's the pressures keeping it off the seal state. So let's see. Shut you off for a second. So I do need to fix this at some point. Because these used to auto grab. And currently they're not doing it. So there's the controller. Again, a couple of comments in Reddit that I just read there. They're blaming, again, the devs for not testing properly. Well, they had the experimental branch. They had actual players playing with their builds. And again, you can't make it so that everybody's weird. Again, we don't have a consistent engineering, practice set or policy. People build their stuff however they want to build it. And so if somebody builds their stuff, quote unquote, wrong, well, then of course it's not going to work. So, you don't know if that's the issue or something else, So that's kind of, that's the thing, was when you're engineering your own stuff, that could be why it's broken, is it could be the way you made it just doesn't make any sense realistically. And it worked because you just kind of happened to make it work. That was like, I saw some people using like certain formulas for their modular engines that would make sense. Their stuff doesn't work because their formulas need to all be tweaked now, because instead of using an AFR system where it reads how much air you have in there, it reads how much fuel you have in there, automatically adjusts the fuel to match the air. Well, if your air changes, then your fuel is going to need to change. And some people did not change. They don't have a system that runs that way. And so now their AFR is going to be screwed up. And of course, their engines aren't going to run right if their AFR is screwed up. So it's not really a game problem. It's I made a system that ran with the previous AFR, and now I need to go back and make it work with the new AFR. And I understand the frustration of that, but it's also like, or you could have made a controller like I have in all of my builds that automatically adjusts the AFR, and then you're good no matter what. Any air values, that's why I would say a lot of my stuff is working, is because like I don't even know what the air values are now. I don't need to. The engine knows what the air values are, and it changes them it changes the fuel to match the engine. So that's, there we go. So that would be something I think some of these people who are having problems with their modular engines need to do, is do a little testing and see what it is. Because like I'm checking the chat, like a bunch of us having no problems with our engines, with our modular engines. So could very well be just the way they made their stuff is not accounting for AFR values. I'm so screwed up now with playing Farming Sim that I have no clue what the controls are for Stormworks. Go. Let's put this out right above that. I want to try to get these doors attached. This was something that happened that I don't know what's going on with these doors anymore that they want to attach. I have a sneaking suspicion it's something to do with the air pressure blowing down on them, and so they're not aligning properly. So I'm going to try to rope it and see if that will fix it. Okay. So I really don't want to put hinges on them. IRL, they're loose door panels, and you have to remove them, and I like that feature. Gives me something to do with the crane, Okay. Let's try to see if I can get this to seal up. Could put barometers and test, but I'm trying to avoid that. But that would kind of be my. Oh, they don't work with infinite fuel. So are a bunch of these people just running with infinite fuel all the time, and now they're annoyed that they actually have to make their engine work, or what's the story? Could be it too. I know there's a lot of people who like just run infinite everything all the time and never even build their stuff, so I wonder if that's part of the contingency too. I don't know. All right, let's try to get this panel to grab. Yeah, but I have a sneaky suspicion it's pressure that's keeping these panels misaligned because they're supposed to grab right away, and you can hear the air escape, so it's keeping the air from coming in. Okay. You know, it could be a new mechanic they put in with the doors that if that they need a hinge. Hopefully it's not, but we'll see. Because these doors worked before, and now you can hear the pressure escaping. They're coming out of these doors, so that's where the pressure's coming out of. So it could be that. That would be unfortunate because that's hard to fix without. What's going on now? Okay, let's check something. Pressing all the wrong keys, seeing that I'm in. Still using farming some key buttons. How's it going there, Tomcat? There we go. Alright, so these doors used to grab. I don't know why they're not grabbing anymore. They made some change to these doors, or the pressure is keeping them from getting a balance. Because I do have that custom. Actually have a couple of these custom doors that work. The airlock door, the EVA door, works in this way. It does not have a proper hinge, and that door works. So I don't think that's the problem. I don't. I'll have to do some testing on that. Let me catch up in some chat. Exactly. Oh yeah, yeah. You're doing that formula as well, copying. Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they don't work with infinite fuel now. How's it going? I said hi to Tomcat. Oh, thank you there, Ron McDonald. Yeah, so let's see. I'm curious why. Let's try. One thing I want to test is, did they accidentally get flipped around? I doubt it, but we'll screw with that. Because these doors, I used to be able to put the hatches in, and you know, right when it spawned, they would grab. They're not grabbing anymore. Okay, I just want a tiny bit of pressure on this. Let's check physics settings really quickly. Physics detail stayed on high. Again, like I was saying, check that sometimes because it didn't do it this update, but previous updates I know they have made it where it defaulted it to auto, and I was like, a bunch of stuff wasn't working. It was because it defaulted it to auto. And then people would, you know, had issues with a bunch of their builds, and it was just that. It was a physics issue. Like, I don't get any water in here, but I would like these to seal up, so. All right, let's try something. Let's flip this around, see if that does it. I doubt it. Game's a little bit in slow-mo now, probably because I have stuff spawned at the other base, too. Definitely a bunch of slow-mo going on right now. Let's flip this 180 degrees, see what happens. Probably nothing, but worth the check. Make sure they didn't just get spun around. Because if they're 180 degrees, they will not grab. So. Okay. I'll see you later there, Zachy. All right, let's get this down. Don't keep going down. Yeah, definitely have some lower logic FPS right now. Let's see where we're at. Let's see where we're at. 144 regular performance RPS. I'm down to 29, so I'm running about 50% logic right now. So about 50% of what I normally run. I usually run like 62. So definitely having a lower FPS on that. That could just be I'm at dock too. Sometimes this is a big hardship to be running at dock, and they changed the way the subbodies work, so it would not surprise me if that causes some a little bit increased FPS usage, because it's every subbody now is its own thing, where before they were had a hierarchy of subbodies, so that wouldn't surprise me. Okay. Let's try to flip this around, get out of the seat, get down there. Yeah, see, like the crane's still moving. It's still way behind because of the, yeah, see, it's still moving all on its own now because it's behind on the FPS. So, might try to get away from this dock or something and get out of here. Try to get away from this dock. See what, get a little bit of frames to test these doors out. Yeah, it's big physics slowdown here. I keep pressing the wrong keys because of Farm and Sim still. Yeah, I'm not getting that door. People talk about the doors constantly making a loud noise. That tends to be my experience with this so far has been air escaping, and I'm not having any of that issue. My stuff's all sealed up. Let's try to get away from this dock here, and see if I can get some frames. Oh, my ship is faster. Not by much, but about a knot faster, half a knot faster, something like that. Yeah, they said in the hotfix they fixed the smoke particles are back. They look to be back. So. Look to be a little bit lighter. I don't know. Looks a little bit lighter to me, which is kind of nice. If that's the case, because I think it was a little bit heavy on Triton to have the particles as much as I had them. Let's go play with that crane. We are moving now, it's just challenging, but let's check the FPS. We're up, yeah, we're almost at 60 FPS, so it's definitely, that was a dock issue, so. It was, being at dock. Triton doesn't like being at dock. It's just too much going on to be sitting at dock with Triton for long periods of time. So it's not, doesn't seem like it's anything other than, yeah, cranes move much better now, so it seemed like a dock issue. We'll see if the plates want to attach with us. There could have been the physics issue too, that why the plates didn't want to attach. The other thing too, oh, I bet you I know what it is. I know what it is. Shit, I do know what it is. It's, these are separate bodies. So that's, I bet you that's what it is. They're separate bodies, so they're never going to want to attach. So I have to change the way they spawn, so they spawn as a part of the body. I get you. Okay, so I bet you that's what it is. I bet that's why they're not attaching, is it's counting these as a separate body because of the new mechanics. If you remember, we did a test like the day it came out. I could not have a spawner fill another fluid tank because it was counting it as two separate vehicles. So I bet it counts that as a separate vehicle and it doesn't want to attach it to the door frame. I bet that's what it's doing. Let's try to get that checked, see if that's... That would be my current hypothesis. That would make sense to me. Make sure we're not going to hit anything. I bet you that's what it is. Run! Oh, it's heavy. It is heavy, though. It is heavy. I bet you that's what it is. So I wonder if I could use hard points to move these now. Okay, I would say I'm 90% sure that's what that is. Okay. Let's check that, see if I can fix that. Oh, did something released? You know, I understand people's complaints, but, you know, these guys seem like they've worked solid for 3 weeks to get this out. Plus, they were working, you know, pretty long and diligently on it before that. You know, that's a lot of companies won't do that. They, you know, I think they're certainly not perfect, but they've done a bunch of stuff that they put in the effort. You know, it's kind of like No Man's Sky was. You know, they released that game, they lied about it, they released it absolutely a zoo, and you know, they put in the effort, and I think that's big in my book. Is you don't have to be perfect on the first try, but you do have to put in the effort, and I think these guys are putting in the effort. All right, so yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna fix this right now. I'll take a break on that. Let me read what this update is. I might take a break and jump off here. Let's see what the update is. Game updates. Let's take a look. So here we go. Today at 4:18 p.m. So again, they released this yesterday on a Sunday. They were working, and they're out again today. So fixed fluid jet particle trails, fixed water flow for handheld hoses, fixed jet engine combustion sound effects. So again, let's see that Reddit complaint. That Reddit complaint was 11 hours ago, 12 hours ago now, and it's fixed within 12 hours. It's like, everybody needs to take a break before they run to Reddit and just cry and complain. Put in a bug report, and they're fixing things pretty quickly here. Just put in a bug report. You know, it's pretty damn responsive as far as I'm concerned. You know, a lot of dev teams would have waited till their normal weekly update and just did a hotfix then, but you know, that's pretty responsive. Rework, reduced rate of leaks due to damage by 10. All right. So that was another, I heard somebody complain about that. They said it's leaking too fast, and so good, they fixed that. So nice. So that seems pretty good. So a couple good fixes there. Jet engines sound is now no longer a problem. So excellent. Let's see. Still kind of having a little bit of writer's block isn't the right word, but trying to think of things I want to build, and now that I think a lot of these hot fixes are starting to fix some of the issues, I'm feeling a little bit more interested in doing some builds. I still don't know what I want to build yet, so I may start off screen this time building the next build challenge. I think we're probably pretty good. The next build challenge is land, which I think is pretty good because having a land challenge is likely going to be a little bit more safer isn't the right word, but having a land challenge is probably less likely to have problems with breakage. We've tested out modular engines today; they were fine. Yeah, I was thinking hard points too. Let me see. Let me just read a couple of chats here. Let me check. They already have ledges, Aaron. Let me just read. Does Triton use ballast for stability? Yeah, Triton has like 300, 400,000 pounds of ballast in it. So these are the water tanks. There's a water tank in the bow, and then it has 2 water tanks in the stern. So 4 water tanks, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 fuel tanks. So that's all ballast under there. Then it has all this weight. All this weight is for ballast as well. No glitches at all for buoyancy in Triton. So this is all naturally buoyant. That's why, again, I don't have any problems with this either. But yep, that's it does use ballast. Yeah, if you look at my doors, they already have ledges. So the door cannot fall all the way down. They have these corner pieces that keeps them from falling in. And that used to align them fine, so when it spawned in, it would attach. I do think the issue is something to do with, I think it is something to do with the way it's calculating separate bodies. I could put a hardpoint locks on them. That's a thought. I was thinking that myself. Air filtering figured out yet? Not really. I haven't even looked at it, so. Oh, your physics was on low? Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people need to check their physics setting. It will get reset sometimes, and I saw that a bunch. Like they had an update where it reset people's physics setting to auto, and then they were complaining that the devs did something to break all the builds. And it wasn't really that. It was that it changed their physics setting from high to auto. So check that every once in a while too. Only play with physics on high. Yeah, that's most people are building their stuff to it has to work on high physics. High physics is how the game is supposed to work. High physics is how the game works. And then you'll get somebody who has a potato PC and they'll complain that, oh, my computer can't run. So what they'll do is they'll put in, oh, okay, then this person wants to be able to run with, essentially less than what you should be running with, or they want to build something that is outside of the scope of the game. And so you need to think of anything other than high physics is I am going outside the bounds of what the game is supposed to do. And if it doesn't work right, it's because I went outside the bounds of what the game is supposed to do. It's kind of like when somebody will make a custom workbench and they'll build a ship that is too big for what the game is designed to do. You should expect the game is not going to run properly if you go outside the bounds of what it's supposed to do. So that's like most stuff, like most complicated builds, they need high physics on. They're just not going to work. I know there are a couple people who, like, for example, if you want to take the Titanic, that is again designed to it's breaking, it's outside of what the game is supposed to do. It's breaking the rules of the game. They literally edit game files to do a custom workbench to be able to make something that is outside of the bounds of the game. That's perfectly fine, but you need to realize that you could run into a situation where the game no longer wants to work properly because you essentially went outside the bounds of the game. So that's something to for people to consider as well, that very well could be part of their issues, because that was like, again, I don't mean to be critical of it, but it's like the contingent of player base who likes to watch certain people who, they take Titanics and do tsunamis and stuff, that type of gameplay. Again, right off the bat, they're trying to break the bounds of the game by using something that was never designed to be in the game, and so they kind of you have to say, you kind of have to take some personal responsibility. Okay, I went outside the bounds of the game. I should expect it not to work perfectly. It's essentially the long and the short of what I'm saying. You know, you kind of have to realize that you made the game do something it wasn't supposed to do. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, that's to be expected, frankly. All right, let's try this as a quick workaround. So this is, let's see, lock seal. Okay. Lock seal, and this should be there, and then this should be opposite. So I'm just going to do a quick blank microcontroller, and this will do opposite. Do we have not blocks? I think we do. I'm just going to do it now so I don't have to make it really quick, and then this is just for testing purposes. This will go from here to there, and then this will go to these. Okay. So that's a quick workaround. Okay. All right, that is, let's see if it's sealed now. So let's check the door frame controller. Seal state's false, so we're still sealed. Okay, so the hard points aren't even, okay, let's see. So, seal state is false. Seal state is still false. Interesting. So the seal is not, the door's not sealing. Interesting. Let's check electricity. Make sure I didn't break the electricity on it. Because it could be as simple as that. I broke the electricity on it. And it's just coincidental. Where are you at there, guy? It doesn't have electricity. It doesn't appear to. There's no electricity on there. Okay. Okay. So here's the door seal for this one. And then I had 2 on this one. This one shouldn't have 2 anymore. It should have 1. Because that was a problem. Okay. And let's see. All right, and then this toggles, make sure this is the right one. Garage panel toggled. Okay, so that should go lock seal. This should go default position is on. Because I'm not getting the other one to seal even though it's perfectly aligned. So that's interesting too. All right, so this one grabbed because the hard points pulled it up, but notice the seal is still not going. So that is weird to me. It's perfectly aligned, but the seal is not sealing. Interesting. So I think it has to do with the it's a different body now. I'm wondering if that's what it is it considers it a different body now and it's never going to let it seal. So I don't know how to get around that. Yeah, I don't know how to get around that. Interesting. Yeah, so I don't know how to get around that right now. So I'm going to have to figure that out because, like, this here is not sealed. So I don't know. That's something to work on and try to figure out. Okay. I see. Yeah, Dr. Dan there is talking about he has one on seals, on rails that won't seal. I think it has to do with the, yeah, I'm thinking it has to do with the new, what do you call it? Sub-bodies. So I'll do some testing on the doors, see if I can't come up with a solution. We'll do a quick test here. I thought I bought this. Okay, I did. It's just, see, you notice how everything goes to default state? That's the default state. So I think that's one reason why when people have issues with the fuel pumps, the fuel pumps will disappear if you do no clip like that. And I think it's a default state problem. Because it goes to like a maintenance state when you get too far away from it, and then it interferes with that. Let's see, door. Let's go. I won't do it that way. Yeah, I'll do it that way. All right. So this will tell me if it's an air pressure problem, I think. Yep. So you see that's it's trying to blow the air pressure out of the room there. Okay. All right, so now let's kill that air pressure. Okay. Notice there's no air pressure in there anymore. Okay. No air pressure in there anymore. They won't seal. Okay. Let's go in here. So that was air pressure escaping. Let's go ahead, take a barometer. Should theoretically equalize, but this could be an issue too of what's happening. So we'll take a barometer there. Okay, we'll go ahead and we will go pressure, pressure, and pressure. So let's see if there's a pressure differential between the door panels, because that could be keeping them misaligned. 1, 1. See, there's 50s. There's a pressure differential. See the pressure differential? Let's do a test, see if this is the problem. So let's see. I want to cut a hole here. Well, there's a hole cut below it already. Perfect. All right, let's see. I don't know if I need the gas relief valve. I don't think I do, but we're going to stick it on there anyway. Let's see if I can get the pressure differential to change. .985, so 95. So there's still a pressure differential in there. Okay, try something. Let's go put it up on legs. Trying to see if I can get these doors to equalize here. So this is now at 860, and the doors are at 890. So the doors are holding pressure in there. Interesting. So that could very well be part of the issue that's going on here. Let's get those up a little. I need to see under it more. Okay. Let's go ahead and we'll cut out the whole under frame here in the doors. Okay, and I want to do corner pieces. That's how I have them on Triton. It's just these corners keep the door from falling in the hole. Okay. Because it makes sense, that's why moon pools are working, is that door frame. Christ. That door frame is blocking air from getting by it. So there's a pressure differential. And it's keeping the door frame from ever sitting in the hole, right? All right, so that's showing, because I deleted the damn thing. Okay. How many, four is fours? Jesus Christ, let's finally get this thing fixed. There we go. All right, and let's put a barometer back on these. So it's like, yeah, we're running a different pressure on the door frames, it seems. Which is interesting. So 8 threes and 8 hundreds. So these are 30, 30 somethings units off of the other ones. That is interesting. That's very interesting. So like this barometer here is at a different pressure than there. Now, I doubt it's altitude. So let's check, let's verify it's not altitude, because your barometer will change with altitude. That's how an altimeter actually works IRL. So let us make sure that that's not it. Let's get them at the same level, because that could very well be it. So I have to make sure I ruled that out. That's actually, no, they're at the right rate. So this one, let's check them again. Okay, yep, that's what it was. It was altitude. It was an altitude problem. Interesting. Okay, so they do not have a pressure differential. That was an altitude differential. That's okay there. All right, let's see. So let's see. Seal state, lock seal. No need for electricity. Let's make sure infinite electricity is back on. The toggle switch could be screwing me up there because I didn't have infinite electricity on. Let's check it. Toggle false. It could be just an electrical problem I was having. Maybe. We'll see. Okay. Let's test something here. That could just be an electrical problem. We'll see. That would simplify it if it was that. We can hope. All right, I just heard him lock. I think it's an electrical problem. I don't think it's actually a problem with Triton. I think it's an electrical problem. So it didn't even change, I don't think. I think it's just an electrical problem, as I must have put an electrical problem in there and didn't realize it. That would be good if that was the problem. That's an easy fix. Let's test it out. My guy doesn't want to land really quick. That's interesting to me. I wonder if the new way the no-clip works is something that puts you in zero gravity. You notice I float for a second? I wonder if they did that for the moon. That would make sense to me. That would make sense. Okay, let's check the electrical here. This could be an electrical problem, plain and simple. Electricity, it looks like it's an electrical problem. Nope, let's see. Going down here to, what's that? Port 1. Okay, no, these are hot wired. Okay, so that's not it. So that goes directly to the batteries. So let's see, that's not it. That's definitely not it. Okay. Spawn it, see what happens. I am spawning into water too, and you hear the air escaping. So let's check all the electricity on this. 100% electrical on there. Toggled. Lock seal true. Interesting. Try something. But it is a solvable problem. It's just something different. Let's go like this. Poke holes in there. See if the room pressurizes now. Now it's going to fill with water, but I want to see why the hell I'm spawning underwater too. There we go. Try that. Alright, door did not seal, so it wasn't the pressure rush that caused it. Alright. So it's not the pressure rushing out because there was no pressure differential. The door frames are sealing it. That's why you notice we don't get any water in with those in the door frames. So that's interesting. You notice my test, the doors sealed right up. But this, the doors aren't sealing. So that's interesting to me that the doors are sealing. I wonder if it's, yeah, I don't know what it is. So this is toggle true. Door frame controller is where now? No, they're still on the sides on this one. True. Okay. So I have to figure this out. You notice the test worked, so I'll have to figure this out. So, let me read some chat. Yep. Let's read this chat here, and I think I'll take a break. But yeah, so this is a problem. I'll figure it out. You know, you notice that the test worked, so I'll have to deal with that. See what's up. Let me see where we're at. I'm trying to catch up on chat here. Have you done anything with nuclear? No, I've done nothing with nuclear. I really like nuclear stuff IRL, but I have not done anything in game with nuclear. I just can't find an application I really want to use it for. But sometime I might get into it. You should be able to make an airlock between the two using the ceiling doors. That's something I need to add on that rocket. You can do, let's see. Should be able to use, where the hell is it? These hinge dock hatches. They allow you to magnet, and so you can magnet these two together, and then open them up and have an airlock. I think you need to have an airlock on either side. I haven't tested that yet, but that's something I plan on doing at some point. Okay, sounds good. Citrus put a bug tracker on there, so go check that out and see if that is something you want to support, people. Go sign mine in, and I'll hit it. I'll read it out to everybody too here when we get in. I have to go back and find it because it's presently the way it does it is if you log in, it boots you out of that link. So, what's your name in there, Citrus? Let me see. I'll find it really quick again. Okay, it is regular Citrus in there. I'll see if I can find it. I'll read Citrus's post to everybody here in a second. What is it called? RGB spotlights. Okay. RGB spotlights. Okay, so Citrus's post is it would be nice with small spotlights with an RGB component. It's basically just a normal RGB light with what looks like a range of small spotlights. Okay, I like that one. That one's starred. So if you would like that, go and star Citrus's request. I'll see you later there, Rasmus. Yeah, like if you look at my rocket, see this is obnoxious. I can't spawn the rocket here. I have to move bases to spawn it. So, my rocket has 2 doors that work. So I think what it you notice when Triton launches one, it's having a real huge physics slowdown because it's very complicated. So that wouldn't surprise me if the game's just kind of taking a second to think, and the doors don't get aligned properly in that process now. This here has, if you look at this EVA door here, there's no custom door hinge on this. It is direct connected to this part, which is a regular pivot. And this door seals fine. So you can still do it, but you need the alignment perfectly to get it to do it. So I'll have to come up with something for it. But you notice when I put the hard points, it still wasn't sealing. So that's interesting that you can seal it with just even the hard points. The hard points should align it perfectly, and it still wouldn't seal. So I have to look at it further and see what's up with it. Oh, I still haven't noticed the Halloween decorations. Okay. All right, let's see. I think I'll take a breaky poo here. Let me just quickly check out all the do a little sign off here. But it was good getting back at Stormworks. Nice to see them still working on things. You notice they're putting out hotfix after hotfix after hotfix after hotfix. I think they're doing the right thing. People have to have some patience with them. They'll get to the point here where I think things are pretty good. So thank you, Side Mountain, FS Gamer, Connor Boyle, Danny, Miles World, Sergeant Chaos, Aaron Repairs, all, and Citrus for being members. If you'd like to become a member, you can see the details down in the description below. Thank you, Chickasaur, for being a patron. Thank you to all the subscribers, and thank you for all you guys for watching today. It was fun, and I'll see you later.